So today, I'm going to be completing the texturing of the road here. This road and the path around the ring, and after that, I decided what I want to do in the bowl here. Um, so let's go back to here. I'm going to go into F3, and so the terrain at the highest point here is at 76, and what I'm going to do after I do the texturing of the roads is I'm going to come into the bowl here and start flattening the terrain. And I'm going to take it from, that Y76 down to the Y56 here. So there's 20 layers that I'm going to flatten in here. Um, and then after I do all that, I'm going to come in and put walls that go from the ground here down to, you know, I guess as far as I want it to. I don't really have a plan here. I'm just kind of winging it at the moment. But I had an idea to maybe bring this road out a little bit and kind of go around the ring. So like have two layers of roads around the ring. And then yeah, after all the terraforming and stuff, I want to go in and figure out what I want to do here, whether or not I create like a spire that holds this up or something, or even bring the towers down a little bit, or like down all the way. And then, yes, after all of that, I'll probably go around the ring here, finish up the walls on the inside, and I guess figure out what I want to do. um, yeah. So moving on from the roads here, let's just fly over to the sheep farm. So I decided in the last episode I didn't really like the design I had going for this guy. And I started thinking about what I want to do with the exterior. And at first, I was thinking, I don't have to hug the exterior as close as possible to the modules here, just like save space and stuff. I feel like I was being space efficient doing that, but I didn't really like the design. So I realized I could utilize this dead space as well in the build, even though it's like empty space. I could still do that. Then I started getting a little more creative with the idea and realized it doesn't have to be all one singular building. It can be a number of buildings. And so I decided to create kind of like a facade of a number of buildings. So I want this area to look like a number of buildings kind of clustered together. And yeah, that's just kind of the direction I'm gonna go with it. I changed the brightness setting to 50%, so it seems like it gets darker earlier. So it's tricking me. But yeah, I have an idea going so far. I know where I want to go with this. The only part of it I've designed so far is over here, and really it's just the shape. So I'm gonna put a gate here, and if I'm coming in from this side of the wool farm, and I come through the gate, I'm thinking like just imagine there's a gate here, and I'm walking through it, and the first thing I see, is this, and yeah, I think that would be really cool. Yeah, so after I'm done with that, I'm gonna go around and start kind of smoothing things out around here, making it look prettier, filling in holes and stuff. Just so I have a better like canvas to work with. It's a little messy at the moment. I'm also thinking about like flattening or taking this part out because as I'm walking out of the gate, I'm coming closer to the tower here. It gets kind of covered by all of this. So I think I'm just gonna rip all of this out. And before I actually get going on the paths here, I wanted to talk about why I call this series the Deadlands. It's not something I brought up yet. I was actually contemplating whether or not I wanted to bring this up. Sounds like all serious and stuff. It's not. It was just more like the original idea I had for this series, I wasn't sure if I actually wanted to continue with that. But the reason I call this the Deadlands is because I want to build like a number of cities around the world, and each city would take like different maybe technologies, different farms and stuff, and more complicated the farms become. Like right now, I'm doing like pretty basic materials like sugarcane and wool, and later on I'll have like wood and maybe some concrete. But as my like skills in building and redstone kind of improve, I'd like to like be able to move around the world and utilize the world as well, and building new cities with like newer technologies and more maybe complex stuff. So maybe later on in the series, I'll build a perimeter and build a much larger creeper farm that's way more efficient than the one I have out there, right there. But yeah, that's basically the idea, just to build a number of cities, all with different farms and stuff. I think that's it. So it's time to like start working on this too. First, I'm gonna lower the terrain here, or lower the road. These two layers here, I want to be at the same level as this bottom layer. And that's mainly because I'm, planning on tearing that part out, and I want the bridge that I later put here to kind of just be level with whatever comes next. So yeah, I'm gonna do a big time lapse, building the road here and doing the terraforming here. So yeah, I guess we'll see how long this takes. The hole here took 2.5 hours, and this is much bigger. So yeah, it's not as deep, but it's still much bigger. I'm thinking maybe a day. So it might be a couple days before I come back. So, I screwed up a little bit. The time lapse for this hole, I didn't lose it. It's not technically, well, I did lose a portion of it. So because it was such a large time lapse, I could not do anything with it. I could like get into the replay, but it kept crashing my game every time I tried to like just click on the timeline. So, yeah, the hole's done, and I'll talk about it in just a second. But yeah, I did try to split the time or the replay into smaller sections, but I couldn't even get those edited, and they kept crashing, or what was it? Yeah, they kept just not wanting to load. So yeah, this I'm recording after I'm like working on finishing up the like editing and stuff, and yeah, it's wonderful, but I hope at this point you're still like watching and enjoying. I'm doing some new stuff, especially the intro. I've just made it, so I had no idea I was going to do that at the beginning. So cool, yeah, awesome. Have fun with the rest of the video. All right, so I got the roads down here. As you can see, this one's textured. It's also lowered a couple blocks. And yeah, the road here also is all textured. And I also dug a big hole. Yeah, this was a pretty big project. It took about 9 hours. And to do that, I needed to put together some tools. Yeah, so a bunch of shovels. I didn't actually need to repair any of the shovels at any point. I did have to, though, with picks. So I went through them, and then I had to go and repair them. So what? That's 13 plus another 5 picks in total that I used in mining all of this out. One thing I haven't done yet is check statistics. I've been kind of waiting to do that. So I guess let's do that. It would be items times mined. Yeah, that's a lot of stone. For a while, netherrack was up there, but yes, I almost doubled netherrack and stone. Now, I don't know how much stone I mined before this project, but I definitely used a lot of it, or mined a lot. Um, yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's other things. I haven't broken any tools besides stone stuff, so picked up. Yeah, so I picked up quite a bit of cobblestone too. A lot of dirt. I didn't use any silk. These are all just very basic. They're also diamond, just because I don't want to waste the netherite on them. But yeah, so the roads are done, the hole is dug, and basically, so the next part in the project, I'm thinking I'm gonna put another road at a lower level. So something that was coincidental is that the road here is 10 blocks wide. It's only 8 blocks wide here, but from the edge here to the edge here, it's 10 blocks. So going this way, if I were to just build straight from this edge and that edge all the way around, it'd still be equal to this. So I didn't do that on purpose. It just happened. So I'm gonna do that, but first I think I'm gonna add like some stairs down, maybe go 10 blocks from the top here down. And yeah, just do the same texturing around the edge. And then after I do that, I'll probably start working on the walls that come from the road up here down to the next road. I don't really have much of an idea after that. I'll probably just do walls with the second level as well. And then I'll probably do some training up to this guy from the center. And it's getting a little dark, so I'll get prepared to sleep. But one thing I started to think about when I was digging at the hole is that I could actually move my creeper farm back over here and just not put it up there, just maybe down at this level. Then I started thinking, let's fly through the world and see, look at all the caves and stuff. And it just happens that there's not a whole lot of caves. So, ooh, that's the wrong render. So, we'll get to that in a second. Let me turn that on and turn the beacon range off. So, I'm centered. Actually, I'm going to sleep so I don't die. Right where I am, I'm centered. I think I got turned around. Right here. This is the center. And if I fly through, and the despawn sphere here is centered on the player up there. And so I started thinking, well, I could maybe move my creeper farm down here and just light up the caves since there's not a whole lot. I also don't have like any lava. I'm not sure about water. I can't quite tell. No, I'm not seeing any water. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna put like a test farm down here just to see if the rates are fine. I'm also gonna have to light up, out here and some, in here as well. Just so during the night I can still AFK here, and hopefully it would work. But yeah, I want to get the farm as low as I can, just so I can make it as efficient as it can possibly be. But yeah, I'm probably going to put light fixtures around the road too. So that'll help with the lighting. So I guess beacons now. So before I had 4, I had 1 beacon, and I put it in the center, and it wasn't enough. So I went into the Nether, and I got 12 more skulls. 9 of them I used for 3 more beacons, and then I kept another 3. I'm thinking at some point I'll build a wither rose farm, so I can make a better wither skeleton farm at some point. Let's turn that off and go back and turn that back on, turn that off, and then turn that back on. So, yeah, here's the beacon ranges, and in their current positions, they really only cover this area at the moment. I thought that was pretty cool. It also so if I go, maybe turn that off. I thought I turned that off. All right. So it looked pretty cool with the 4 beacons just kind of shooting up into the sky like that. So I think I'm going to keep them in the area and just change the effect to speed boost and regen. That way I can maybe run around here a little faster and always have some health. And I thought maybe that could be an effect this monument has in this area. So yeah, I thought that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So I'll lower the beacons at some point after I build the roads and stuff. So I'll get them removed in a little bit. I still have like a bunch of materials I need to put back or put into storage. So yeah, I did have to add a bunch of more chests to the storage, just so I could put everything away. And I went back and forth maybe a few times to put stuff away. That and that. Okay, so I've talked about everything on this project that I wanted to. So the next thing is the sheep farm over here. That was a long pause. Or I started thinking about something else. Yeah, the wool farm over here is the next project. I just remembered. I haven't checked the iron farm, and I'll also go over to the sugarcane farm in a second. But yeah, I haven't checked the iron farm the entire time I worked on that. So it's been running for a while. But yeah, so these 2 wings are all done. So a nice handy thing, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but this farm will automatically turn off, or at least the carts will stop running automatically once, this hopper here starts to fill up with items. That means that the hopper it's feeding into is full. I don't know if I can quite get to it. Yeah. So if it can no longer put items into the system, it'll just turn off the minecart. So they'll stop running automatically, which is nice. But it doesn't automatically turn off the system, so it would continue to shear the sheep. And I'm thinking at some point I'll create an automatic switch for that. That way I don't have to manually flip it on and off. But yeah, next part is to start working on the gate here. But before I can do that, I need to go and collect some blocks, like cherry wood and acacia. Because I added a couple more blocks to the palette here. It's going to be very similar, in grays and stuff, and white. And I might throw in some other colors. But at least to get the shape into here, I might try to use Lightmatica. I've never used it before, so that might take a little bit of time too. But really, it's just a white building or a white structure that I've kind of just laid out. It doesn't have any of the color and stuff into it, so I just want to get the shape into here. That way I can show it and get it lined up and stuff. Running over here to the sugarcane farm. So this has also been running while I've been working on that. And it's filled up. Completely full. And it's been producing bone meal for a while now. So it's almost onto the second chest. This has been a little weird, so I figured it would be bottlenecked, and a little bit ago I checked and it was full. Now I guess it's gone through all of it. That's nice, but it doesn't be bottlenecked like that. But yeah, this thing is producing quite a bit of bone meal. I can't wait for auto crafting. That way, I can just make all of this into bone block. But yeah, I don't have to turn it off. And it still has a little ways to go. And then over here to the iron farm. That's full. That's full. Full. Okay, so only what, three and a half chests, and then plus the hoppers. That's not too bad. That's pretty good. Still have quite a few chests that it can work on. I will have to empty it at some point. I started making a bunch of anvils for just potentially using in builds and stuff. Maybe I'll use it in the wall around the ring and stuff. But yeah, I want to start getting the materials ready for this. So I will catch you in a second. I don't know what I was trying to go for there. All right. See ya in a moment. Alrighty, so I've gone ahead and collected a bunch of cherry logs, and I mean these are planks, but I got the logs, and then acacia over here. These two. So what I'm gonna do first is build up the structure with the snow block that I have here. I was going to use Lightmatica, but I don't really know how to use the tool at the moment. I do have it installed. I did that this morning. But that hasn't given... Where is it? Right there. So I do have Lightmatica. I just haven't played around with it enough. So I took a bunch of screenshots, so I'm going to build up the structure and then come back after that and do a little bit of texturing on camera. The video is probably getting to a closing point, or, it's coming. I'm towards the end. I don't know how long the video at this point is. Should be maybe 25 minutes currently. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna build up the structure, do a little bit of texturing, and then maybe do a little bit of terraforming. So, alrighty, I'll be back in a second. Alright, so the build here is done, and I'm getting ready to start texturing. I'm gonna do that. I'm probably gonna spend the next few minutes working on that, just on camera. And yeah, it's done, and I'm on the other side of the wool farm, and I just wanted to walk through the gate and just kind of get an idea of what this is gonna feel like. So, I come through the gate and it reveals the big monument in the background. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Once I start getting more structures in the area, I think it'll really just start to frame this guy. And yeah, that's really what I'm trying to do. It may not really be working too well here, but yeah, I think the effect will get there. We'll see. So the gate here is centered exactly on this guy. So if you look at this line here, that building over there is centered on this as well. So all right, so I'm just gonna grab some blocks. I already have acacia on me. Grab some terracotta, some wool, and sure, none of that. Get some white concrete powder, more wool. I probably don't need snow block. That's already made out of snow block. That's more snow block. And let's just make some cherry logs. So I know cherry logs are a bit pink. They also are very light color. And from a distance, I think it'll work. We'll see. So in my creative world, I didn't do any of this texturing. This is all I did. Basically, as I was designing this, I was really struggling because I was trying to do both the coloring and the building at the same time, and it was just difficult. So I decided to stick with the white and just build the structure, and then I would go in and do the texturing first. Let's put those away. I'm going to start with the dark colors and do something similar, from over there, over here. So put them in my offhand. And, ooh, that's not what I wanted. That's also not what I wanted. All right, there we go. I don't know what this is going to look like, so I'm just going to keep digging up all the dirt. So let's just I'm going to work on this flat surface. I might want to put a torch in here or something. Yeah, put some blocks down. It's a little too even. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe get rid of this one. And then the next color is the terracotta. Block one in there. Yep, I want that. So I don't know what this is going to look like. A lot of my building is just kind of group blocks together. Cool. Let's just throw in another color. What is the next color? Gray wool. Okay. I don't have enough bamboo right now to make any scaffolding. So in the time lapse, you saw me building up with like dirt and stuff. I think that's looking snazzy. Put that away. I still have my dirt. It's over here. Yep. Great. I think this is gonna look pretty cool. Just that was one. Okay. Maybe one there. And cool. And then I may do some more like other blocks around the edge, maybe to kind of help transition from the grays to the whites. We'll see. Like, or maybe I'll just go gray all the way up to here. Maybe. So maybe I'll adjust this so there's more of the gray. And go gray to the top here. I'm thinking I'm going to replace the snow on the inside here with like maybe, I don't know, maybe some lamps, some lighting, maybe some glazed terracotta. I don't know. I had fence posts here. We'll see. I might put that back. I don't really know what that is. I just kind of threw it in to give. Like, I was like thinking as I was building this, how can I take like one block wide and do something with that? And I did that. So kind of like a window to nothing. But yeah, I think this is looking nice. Maybe, I don't know, throw in some more grays. And then, yeah, I think going all the way up. Maybe I'll throw in some cobblestone or something around the like bottom edge. It is getting dark. Go to bed. Alright, so I just kind of finished up doing this face here. I think it's looking pretty alright. I think once everything, is done, it'll look pretty cool. But yeah, that's the idea. Kind of playing around with the idea of, bringing one color down into the other, like, we'll see. I don't know. I didn't really do that over there too much, but it might look nice. And then I'll probably maybe take some other colors, I don't know, and go underneath the stairs there with like cobblestone or something. And then up there, each room I think will be like some other block. I might take like basalt or something and really just kind of change the colors that I'm using. But yeah, I don't really have basalt at the moment. If that is what I decide, I have a pretty easy farm to build, or that I could do. Yeah, that's the idea. And I'm gonna do that probably around everywhere else. The archway though, I don't. Maybe we'll see. And then I'm gonna talk about a few things here, like here, just kind of adding like throwing blocks into corners and stuff. I like doing it gives it a little more depth, and it's just kind of random. I did this in creative, but this isn't exactly what I had. I just kind of did the random thing again. Um, this I don't really know. I think on Hermitcraft, Zombie Cleo kind of did this sort of thing with her base in season 9, and I just kind of did the same thing, just a lot smaller. All right, so now that the texturing is kind of started here, that kind of wraps up what I had planned on doing this episode. So now let's kind of move on to talking about some future stuff. I'm going to continue working on this just over time, and then I'm going to. So the thing about the creeper farm, from earlier, me talking about moving it, below the surface over here, that's not going to work. I did a little bit of research, and just due to height maps, it's just not going to work. So I'll have to figure out something to do. Maybe even move that guy out from above that, just to make that a little more efficient. That's looking pretty cool. Terraforming, I'm not going to get to this episode. I will probably get to that at the beginning of next episode. I also want to build maybe a shulker farm and some sort of wood farm. I'll probably do bamboo, so just an easy resource to gather and make chests and stuff. I'm planning on going exploring a little bit in the next episode to maybe find an ancient city. I thought that'd be fun. I've not really done that much, only maybe once. It was terrifying. All right, so it's the end of the episode. Um, from last episode, I got quite a bit of support, and a little bit of advice, as I requested. So and I saw it. I read it, so I'm going to try to take the as much advice as I get and try to do better in the episodes. So yeah, continue to do so. Giving me some feedback and stuff. And yeah, channel's growing too, so I have some ideas, kind of brewing in the background. Maybe if you got any ideas to maybe keep saying maybe, but yeah, if I'm trying to think of some ideas to maybe, God, maybe, jeez, I want to do something in this world to maybe recognize supporters. And one idea I had just kind of failed. It didn't really work. So, um, so I don't know. But yeah, if you have any ideas on how you guys want to be recognized, if you're returning and plan on returning in the future, just maybe comment some ideas. And yeah, I think that'd be fun. I have a lot of wool. Maybe we can do something with wool. But yeah. All right. So if you enjoyed, please leave a like and continue to subscribe. It's been fun watching all the stuff come in. I'm always refreshing YouTube Studio just to see everything. But it's been fun. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.